This is episode number 14, and today I'm talking all about your fascia and understanding the role that it plays in helping you be a dressage athlete. Welcome along to the DressageRiderTraining.com podcast. I'm Nicola Smith, and in each episode I'll bring you an educational or inspiring message to help you unlock your true potential as a dressage athlete. Are you ready? Let's get into it. As part of the Dressage Rider Training program, I talk a lot about the importance of mobility, stamina, and suppleness. And we know the understanding of our strength and the importance this plays in how to strengthen our muscles, how to improve our flexibility. But I also wanted to add a new layer to this, and this is the important role our fascia plays. And this has become a big part of our programs, and I work on our fascial health. So fascia is a broad term of connective tissue that weaves throughout the entire body to stabilize and bind our muscles, our bones, and our organs together. It makes up a huge amount of our body, from our tendons, our ligaments, to over 30% of our muscles. The elasticity and plasticity of our fascia is directly responsible for our flexibility, mobility, balance, reflexes, and our proprioception. When fascia loses its youthful bounce due to inactivity, lack of mobility, poor nutrition, or aging, we often feel achy and sore and unable to perform optimally at physical activities, including our riding. We can feel stiff and lethargic. When we stretch and condition our fascia, we increase our mobility, promoting a healthier movement and improved quality of life, and have much more of a youthful feel to our body. The DRT programs and the focus within our workouts focus on our fascia, and we work on our fascia conditioning where we use dynamic rebounding movements to condition and organize it into supple reactive bands. We also work on stretching our fascia to remold the fascia for improved mobility and flexibility. So our fascia, or connective tissue, is what glues us together. It's a broad use of the word fascia, and what we're really talking about is the body's extracellular net that holds us all together. So if you think about a piece of meat like chicken breast or beef, what you often see is this white, sometimes transparent web interweaved through the tissues. This is fascia. Or think of an orange. You can segment it into pieces because each segment is divided by a clear yet strong sheet of tissue. Within each of these segments, the juice is further segmented, forming the pulp by the same type of tissue. This is exactly the same for us. We are segmented, yet intimately connected by our fascia. The qualities of our fascia are made up of three things. Number one, your elastic fibers, allowing for the possibility of change. Number two, the collagen fibers, which are very tough. This provides the support and strength through your body. And number three, the ground substance, which is a gelatinous fluid texture when it's healthy. And this fluid quality allows for our organs and our muscles to glide over each other without friction. We have a type of fascia found just below the skin. This is superficial fascia, and beneath this we have deep fascia, a tougher, tighter form, and embedded in this are our muscles, blood vessels, etc. The third kind of fascia lines and forms in our body cavities. I see all of our fascia is the same and is one substance that supports, stabilizes, and glides our body as it functions. While I was personal training my clients back in 2002, it's a really long time ago, I also worked as a massage therapist and did extra training alongside my personal training in sports science and learning about the fascia and how this plays a role in our body. It really helped me to not only know how to train the bodies functionally and how to make the body really healthy, but it also changed the way I viewed the body and its posture, and the form in which it really helps me take a really holistic view, not only with my clients, but also with the whole DRT training. So our posture and our form isn't just about our muscles, it's also about this sling and this net that covers around our whole body. The fascia is the framework that helps create our posture and form. It's a structure that organises us into shapes that functions and move throughout different movement patterns. When we work with fascia, you can think of this idea of wholeness and connection. Within the DRT system and programs is the shape-shifter net that helps pull everything together with all of the different training that creates a feeling of organisation in our body and allows us to truly move as one with our horse. The way you improve your fascia is understanding how it works. So fascia is made up of a ground substance known for its white fibres, but the truth is it's mostly water. This jelly-like layer is happiest when it's hydrated and juicy. Happy fascia is fluid, it's springy and it's strong. Think of the bounciness you love to see in children or in young foals or lambs bouncing around the paddock. When we run or walk, happy fascia will return force we emit right back to us like a spring, making us feel light and softer on the ground. Healthy fascia means we use less energy to do things and our muscles and our bodies will work less and move with greater efficiency. We discover a new strength and flexibility in space. When it comes to our riding, you'll feel more fluid and supple and able to move more with the horse. When we have restriction in our body, our fascia becomes dehydrated, stiff, weak and stuck. Along with hydration, good nutrition, and healthy lifestyle choices, including your yoga and foam rolling mobility work, you can change your connected tissue and you can help your fascia and promote relaxation and restore your fascia fluidity. It's really hard to say. Fascial fluidity. And this is what it's all about when we come to the DRT system and helping you move into coalescence, moving as one with the horse. So your joint mobility is supported by your tendons and your ligaments, which is your connective tissue. Ligaments connect our bones together and tendons attach to our muscles and bones. They can get tight and rigid and injured if you take too long to recover because there's less blood circulation and oxygen being delivered to those areas. To keep your joints mobile and healthy, we need to keep our ligaments and tendons happy. We need to begin with slow stretching our body to help our fascia, our ligaments and our tendons to help to start them relax and release given time and space to do so, creating space, increasing strength and inspiring a deeper flexibility within our joints and ligaments. When I was learning about fascia or doing the massage, I learned about how it affects our posture. I was told to imagine a sheet spread out on the floor. By picking up part of the sheet and pulling on it, you can clearly see tension lines and folds that spread out from one point to the next across where you're pulling. This is how tension in our fascial grid affects us on a 3-dimensional level. A restriction in our feet can have a knock-on effect right on up to our head. This is why it's important to take a holistic approach to how you train the body and how we train as a rider. These fascial sheets that net around our body can have tension lines where they shouldn't. For example, you may have more tension pulling down your right-hand side if you're right-handed. This can create a slight twist and pull in your posture in this direction. Not only will this affect how aligned you are, but it will also affect how you feel when you're in the saddle, and not to mention how the horse feels and how coordinated you are with your aids from your left hand to your right hand side. When we begin to train our fascia, we start with more traditional stretching that has allowed us to work on areas that are often tight and blocked as riders. This comes through with the start of our training. This allows us to improve our biomechanics and become much more supple when we ride. As we progress with the training, you then want to start to work on your plasticity and your conditioning. This really helps to improve your fascia net and the surrounding tissues around your entire body. This will also increase your potential to be more flexible, improve your bounce and your elasticity. The fascia that surrounds your body, it surrounds your bones and it surrounds everything. It holds together through tension and compressions. So it's about going beyond just stretching, but stretching is where you begin. You then start to bring in more mobility work. We go into this with the training and we start to work on more elasticity and more bounce to allow you to move and absorb the horse's force through your body. We train the body by training our fascia. We're conditioning it to be younger and more elastic and more responsive. This means we're better at balancing, our reaction times improve, and we get better at moving and becoming one with our horse. Any kind of dynamic movement that we do, we're going to be able to do it better. When we think about movement and the proprioception like we require when we're riding, often a lot of different things are feeding back that keep us in balance. The fascia that is responding to the balance of the movement is 10 times more reactive than muscle. It's this amazing thing that if we train elasticity of that and we organize our fascia and we train our proprioception and our patterns, we can become physically better movers, we can respond better, heal better, and we can fall better, meaning we prevent more injury and we can get back up in that saddle if we were to have a fall off our horse. And bringing it all into our training, it's important to train the different fascial lines. By separating the lines, it allows us to get optimal time for rest and recovery, and remodel one fascial line before continuing on to the next one as we stretch that out. There's different lines in the words plasticity and conditioning. This is a different way of approaching stretching and holistically looking at the body differently and adding the different layers to our body in our training. There are 5 different fascial lines, whether it's the front of the body, back of the body, side of the body. We move into the functional and spiral lines as well when we train in the arm lines to help create evenness around the whole body. We work on the different fascial lines, so instead of just training something as a separate identity, we train it as a whole and we get the benefit as a whole. So when we train our body within the classes of the movement range, there's different seconds that work into different elasticities of the muscle. So they range from 0.8 seconds to 1.2 seconds, because this is where it's been scientifically proven that this is where elasticity qualities of the fascia come to play. You don't have to be flexible to be able to do this, because it's working within your range and improving your elasticity of your fascia. Some of the stretches can be quite different, but it's about adding to the layers of what you're doing within the system. And we're trying to get into our fascia to improve that elasticity. Some of the approaches and the poses also might be quite different, but it's all about making sure that you're keeping your body safe while stretching the fascial lines and sheets. Everything in the body is connected, and we're divided up into these different types of connection. The feeling of a stretch can feel a little bit different for one person, and the feeling of the difference through each side of the body can also be unique to each individual. So in sort of looking at a different normal muscle pull, you may look at it as a bit more holistic, and the idea that we're pulling from one end of the fascial line to the other. So picturing that sheet on the ground, we're improving those lines of tension through the body. The fascia takes time to rebuild and remodel itself as well. So it's not about doing it every day. You need to allow 48 hours to 72 hours before you repeat any fascial movements and repeat those kind of movements throughout the body. So improving your fascia is a really important part to your riding, and it's something that we do include into our programs to help you be able to move as one with the program. There is a huge emphasis on this within our DRT3 program, which you can only do after you've done DRT1 and DRT2. It's a progression program because Improving your fitness is a systematically designed program that adds the layers on as you take your way through and you improve your body's fitness and overall wellness. And it's all about making sure that you're getting your body aligned and healthy and well so you can simply enjoy your riding and prevent any injuries as you go through it. So understanding how you keep your fascia healthy is one of the keys to making sure that you are keeping yourself healthy as a rider, and so that you're not holding yourself back. And my entire goal with this whole program and everything that I do is helping you enjoy your riding for many years to come. And our fascia gives us that youthful bounce, and it is affected by everything that you do, the way you move, the way you eat, the way you sleep. So taking care of our fascia is just as important as taking care of our mind and our body. So I hope you enjoyed this. Lots of big words, and I hope that just wasn't a whole lot of rambling, and I hope it has helped you take a new look at training and the importance of your fascia. That's it for this episode. If you found it helpful, make sure you download my free guide at dressageridertraining.com. It will help you get started on your journey to becoming the best rider you can be. If you know others who might like the show, please do share this with them. My goal is to help others enjoy their riding even more by taking care of themselves as much as they do their horses. And finally, if you have time to give this podcast a review, it would mean the world to me. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you on the next episode.